Hey everybody, now we're on to 1.7 The Distributive property. I love this property. I think it's super fun because once you get it, it's just one of those algebra concepts that you can conquer, and it looks hard to other people. And once you get it, it's just fun. But there are some things that you have to be careful with, which we'll talk through as we go through. Your essential question for the day, please get it written down. What is the distributive property and how is it useful in real life? This is one of those properties that you actually will use a ton in your life at Walmart. I was at Walmart today and used the distributive property, and so we'll do some examples that would show you how you do that. I would love you to write down, please, this little, oops, I just moved it. That's not what I meant to do. Property, the distributive property. You do have that in your foldable. Go back, make sure it's there. The thing that I like about this is this part right here. When they ask questions on your MCA, your ACT, just tests that you will take in life, these right here, down here, you will see stuff like that. So this one is what we will work with most. So A times the quantity of B plus C, or A times the quantity of B minus C. And so the A goes to the B, the A goes to the C, and here's how it gets written over here. When they're showing you properties, when somebody's kind of quizzing you on that, here's what it will look like broken down. The second one, does it matter if the number you're multiplying is on the end? It doesn't, because the commutative property of multiplication says order isn't important. So get those written down. If you have to pause, great. But let's head over and do a couple of examples. Here we go. What is the simplified form of negative quantity of 3m minus 4m? So sometimes when you see this, there's a problem. So I would say over on the left, you see this little question over here? This is a really good question to have written. What can you do if there's a negative sign in front of the parentheses? What can you put there? A lot of times, if you just put a 1, so it's negative 1, that makes it a lot easier. And then you just pull it through, and you pull it through, so you end up with negative 3m, and what happens to this 4m? Always be careful with that sign right there. That becomes a positive 4n. So here it is. As I watched the other day, I watched several of you doing IXLs, and it looked like this was really not so bad. So what I want you to do is this. I'm just going to have you do 7 problems real quick. There's one that you can't see a little bit lower, and well, let's see if I can lower it down. Nope. So I would like you to pause, do those questions quick, and come back to me and check. Alright, so this first one, I would get negative 3x and minus 12. If you put plus a negative 12, is that okay? You bet it is. Number 7, I would get negative 4y minus 20. Again, plus negative 20 is just fine. Number 8, x times x, x squared. Then x times 5 is 5x. Somebody might say, could I have x5? You could, but just mathematically, algebra people like putting the letter first. Number 9, I thought might have been a little tough. Negative 2/3 times t is negative 2/3 t. Then negative times a negative makes this be a plus. And how do I do 2/3 times 24? You could do 2 times 24 divided by 3. Or if you like, I real quick said, oh hey, 24 divided by 3 is 8, so 2 times 8 is 16, and I got it. This one, I just couldn't see it as I paused, and so negative 6 plus 3x, your signs really just swapped. Number 11, negative 4x times 2x gives me 8x squared, and then negative 4x times negative 3. Be really careful with these negatives. That is what will get you. Generally what I find, there are 2 mistakes that people make. Can you come up with them? Yep. Here's the mistake. Somebody misses a negative. The other one is they forget to shoot through and go to the second piece. All right. If you need more of an explanation of this, I would love to, but from what I remember, you all did really well on this last year, so just ask me if you need more help. If you don't, awesome. Number 12, here is where we use the distributive property in real life all the time. So sandwich costs $3.98. Use mental math to find the cost of 6 sandwiches. Here's what I would do. So if it's $3.98, really, what would you estimate to? I would say that means each sandwich costs $4. 6 sandwiches, so you've got $24. But then, it's a little bit less, so 2 cents for every 6 sandwiches. So I can take away 12 cents, so I get $23 and, 88 cents. And then I put a dollar sign because I'm really good at labeling things. So $23.88. You use this all the time for stuff like that. All right, this one says, find the area of a rectangle whose width is 5 and its length is x plus 7. This was kind of how I originally showed it to you if you had me last year for this. So 7th graders, this might be new. If you need help, make sure to just ask. The width is 5, so I'm going to put that right here. And the length is x plus 7. And you might say, hey, shouldn't they be swapped? Does it matter? Could I just turn the rectangle? I could. So then I'm going to break this into 2 little pieces. So 5 times x gives me 5x. 5 times 7 gives me 35. And so I end up with 5x. And it's all positive, so plus 35. I love this property. Super useful. All right, let's see. I would like to go back. Let's go to this slide. Does the distributive property work for division? Well, I don't know. Does it? Let's pretend that x is 4. And so 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1 over 5. Okay. Let's see, that's 13 over 5. Well, what if I just broke it apart? What would this 5 have to do in order to get the 13 over 5? What has to happen there? So if I did 3 times 4, and what if I just divided that by 5 and then added 1 to the end? Would that work? 12 over 5 plus 1. Nope, that wouldn't be the same as this. So what that means is if I'm dividing by 5, the 5 has to go in everything. So I would do this and I would do that. If I wanted to break it apart, I would have to do 3x over 5 plus 1 over 5. So I think it's kind of dangerous when we're dividing stuff, which we will do maybe next week or 2 weeks from now. When you divide by 5, you've got to divide everything by 5. So you've got to take it out of everything. So does the distributive property work? I guess you could say it does. We should probably be careful with that. You have to divide every single piece by the 5. So yeah, it would work because it's like multiplying by 1/5. So there you go with that. We might need to talk about that more later. Look at that. There we're at our warm-up. So that means we're done for the day, and we'll come back and we'll do some work on this in class. Hope you're having a great night.